Here we go. Okay. Amazing. I'm so excited here to be with Ms. Shreyasi Brodhecker. She is an incredible guide, leader. She has so much magic in medicine. I feel like we'll dive in a little bit today to see. It's been a while since she was in the facilitator program, so there's been like a lot unfolding. I'm excited to hear what is active for you and what leadership and joy leadership is looking like for you in your life and your work. But for now, let's just welcome you to Leading with Joy, where we are exploring what it means to live, lead, and facilitate with joy. And Shreyasi, again, welcome. I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jillian. It's a pleasure. So excited
Yeah.
to be here today. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been up to a lot of magical things. If you'd like to start off with maybe a little bit of an intro of who you are and kind of what you're up to, and then we can dive in.
Sure. So I'm Tracy. I was on the first round, I think the inaugural
The OG.
round of the Joy Method Facilitation program. And I'm a psychiatrist and therapist. I work a day job, and then as part of my business, I love to offer spaces to support women on their IVF, IUI journey. So that's where my path has taken me. So offering them emotional and somatic support, giving them ways to reconnect with themselves and find joy in who they used to be and how they can still find those moments of joy on their path. I also offer equine facilitated therapy or horse medicine at my farm in Sherwood Park with our herd of horses. We have about 24 horses. And so we do retreats and groups and one-on-one sessions where people can come and spend time with the herd and just partner with them, see what they have to teach about grounding or feeling just peace and calm. So those are a bit of what I am offering at the moment.
Yeah, I love this so much. I literally drove past your farm yesterday with Elise and I was like, there they are. There
Yeah.
are the unicorns.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I love
I
it.
love it.
Okay, so let's dive into kind of a little bit about facilitator program. I know it was a while ago you were in the
Yes.
OG group,
Yes.
which is so amazing. We're
Yeah.
now into intake 7, but if you can remember kind of where you were at the time, what was
Yes.
active for you, kind of what made you say yes to stepping in at that
Yeah.
time?
So at the time, I was just a fledgling on my path. I'm starting to build my business, Mindful Mare Wellness, which is now going to be rebirthed as Shreyasi Brodhecker in the next month. And I think, Jillian, you were a business coach for me. So we were working together, helping to sort of nurture and create a business and my message and what I wanted to, I guess, contribute with my medicine. And so the Joy Facilitator program came at a really special time. I wanted to figure out ways to really focus on coaching, learning the foundations of being a really powerful facilitator and just how to be able to share my voice and be authentic. Just knowing how it was easy to kind of learn more about that with you as a coach. I wanted to be in the program and just really steep in that, how I can continue to share my voice and what that would look like in the healing world. And
Yeah.
then the other piece that really drew me was your energy and how you walk through the world, but that medicine of joy, because so often when you're in a more traditional path, like I was at the time as a psychiatrist, you focus on what's going wrong or what isn't working with people's lives instead of perhaps shifting the frame and focusing on what are they doing that brings them joy? What are they doing that already resources them? And so one of the gifts of the Joy Facilitator program for me was understanding like it's a big part of healing is joy, and how can we find joy? How can I talk about it with clients, and how can I give them practical strategies to help with joy? And even the presentation we created as far as blending horse medicine and joy is
Yeah.
something I still utilize. And I'm hoping we can work together and I can start to look at ways to bring the joy method to the women I'm serving now, because there's such a starving of joy on the fertility path. And I just know that the calling for these women is just finding themselves and feeling that joy no matter what's going on. So that's sort of a summary, I think, of what the Joy Facilitator program gave me. I still use some of what I've learned in terms of holding space, creating like magic at the farm for groups of women and just bringing like a lightness into healing because healing doesn't have to be dark and serious all the time. And I think your program really helped me name that and figure out practical ways to bring it into my work.
Okay, so back to how you're applying it, which I just love hearing and feeling. I think also just hearing that you're able to bring it into all aspects of your work, not just one.
Yeah.
And that you're gonna the longevity of it really is that, like, now you can
Hmm.
take that and shift it into the realm the fertility realm, which is also so exciting because I agree. I think oftentimes we think that healing has to take for like, a really long time, or sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've experienced and seen where people kinda get stuck in the healing journey where it's, like, all of this shadow work, and it's the remembrance that we also get to experience ourselves as healed as well.
Exactly, for sure. Yeah, 100%. I think too, like, I think people already come into the spaces I'm in feeling kind of broken or like something's wrong with them. So it can be such a such a relief, to show them there's lots of stuff you're doing just that's working for you. And how can we tailor, strategies that you can use that feel good and that feel like you can continue them. And I think the joy method helps with that. The joy journal helps with that. But that has really helped the women I'm with and around these days. And I know they're just really craving more. So I'm excited to see where this will go and where I can use the training from the facilitator program in the next phase of the work I'm offering.
I just got full shivers, so it's always a good sign. Another question I had for you was around well, I think some people think that healing needs to take a really long time and it's very shadowy. But I also think, on the other hand, was there anything surprising about the joy work for you around particularly that it does really require us to move through those places where we might not typically want to look?
I loved that part of it because I didn't know how to sort of speak of joy, but then also the yucky stuff and the grief or the shadows, and how can we hold both? And one of the things I still hold on to that you brought up, Jillian, was you've got to feel all of it. You have to feel all the feelings. You can't just feel joy and numb yourself to grief or frustration or shame. You have to feel all of it. That was so valuable for me, and I use it all the time, and I think it's really inspiring to figure that you can have joy even when you're dealing with something really shitty, and it's okay. And I just think that's like such a wisdom in your program, and 100%. I hadn't thought of it that way. I always thought it was more one or the other, and it can really be both at the same time in a spectrum. So for sure.
Yeah, and I think especially when we're, focusing on grief, grief, sorrow, those harder emotions, those harder experiences where it just feels like it can feel really dark. I even saw this recently with a friend who recently lost a loved one, is like sitting around and having those memories and bringing in the humor and like our people love that too, like where we
Yeah.
get to remember the lightness and bring in the joy. And it's where you sometimes cross that bridge of joy and grief, it feels like simultaneously as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's such a foundation. It feels so supportive to have the joy work because it just makes it easier, even as a facilitator, for me, like in my shoes, to be more open to walking those other parts because you know that people will get through it, but there's just something missing in traditional therapy. And I really love the joy method to be able to instill a bit of lightness into a really dark time for a lot of people. So I appreciate that.
I love it. Okay, let's change gears a little. Do you remember, was there anything that made you think, well, that maybe made you nervous about stepping in? Do you remember, was there any resistance to stepping
I
into
think,
program?
yeah, I would say so. I think the resistance was more, can I make time for it? I had this idea that I had to do a good job. So I was more stuck in that perfectionism and wondering if I could commit. But that was the main resistance. Do I have the time? And I think that was it. And then once I know it's a phenomenal program and there's so many aspects that you put in there and you've really thoughtfully included. I know there was a lot we went through. It was so well organized. and I still have the manual. I still look at some of those resources. So honestly, it was fabulous. But that
You
was
love
the
the binder.
resistance. Yeah, I did. I did. So like if we have the time for it, and that was my main thing. And then I realized it'll happen. Like if it's important, I'll make the time. And that was the case. So
Yeah. I did notice and love, like, to me, because it is so short, it's 6 months and it's, 2 hours a week, deep, let's go, let's do it, let's dive in. And I feel like I always ask for like as full a commitment as possible because what happens is, especially with online, I find if we miss 1 or 2 classes, you just start to feel like you're behind, you miss something, and then the commitment level can fall kind of away.
yeah.
And then it just is like this anxiety of something that you're not doing well or right, And I noticed with you, your commitment level was like 10 out of 10, and you made all as many classes as you possibly could. And I think to me as a teacher, and a practitioner, like it's just seeing how that really, really pays off that level of commitment. And that's kind of what I
Yeah.
call in now is like the people who are, even though it's nerve wracking, it's like, oh my gosh, we're not used to dedicating that much time to ourselves or particularly joy, right?
Exactly. I also really loved, like, your meditations are just some of the best ones I've ever received, and so being able to see you in action was beautiful. Like, the meditations are really just so resonant, the music, the words, and just, I also like the coaching part. So we had those hot seats. I thought those were good. So
Yeah.
just that really kept me motivated to keep coming back too. You had such a mix. Like you had the meditation, you had some teaching, we had the hot seat calls. So there was lots to kind of focus on week to week too.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank
Yeah,
you for
and guest
sharing.
speakers as well. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, okay, who would you say this program is a good fit for if you could feel
yeah.
into who you'd recommend it to?
I would recommend it for entrepreneurs or people, even people who are wanting to explore more of a soulpreneur business, healing business, or wanting to make a difference in terms of emotional wellness. So that's who I'd recommend it to. Like if you're somebody who's feeling really stuck in more traditional models, you want to be able to bring that light side of who you are, or, how do I put it? Even like, I think it's for people who've lived a lot of life and still keep going, still feel like a spark, still feel that joy, and they want to be able to show other people how that works or translate it. That I think is really what drew me to your program. And I saw that energy in a lot of the people who graduated from your program. So just like being able to find a vehicle to translate what you've lived and make it your own, find really supportive space where somebody who's really a wonderful business coach can help you frame your business, how you can bring the joy method into it, have really practical experience. Like we had to do those presentations. So we actually had to make it our own. And so I think it's for people who want to up level their business, their soulpreneur business, or bring that lightness or joy into their life and coaching other clients as well.
Mm, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love that you're a psychiatrist as well. Like, not gonna lie, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is a big deal. Like, you know your shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I so
Yeah.
appreciated that.
Yeah. No, it was phenomenal. It really was. And a big part is still, like you said, it keeps on giving. Like there's ways to bring it into different phases of your work. And yeah, I'm excited to see how I can use it in the future.
Thanks, Tracy. I'm so grateful for you
Thanks.
and for your work and for everything that you do. Would you be open to sharing about your journey a little bit? Like, so in Facilitator, we often talk about pain to power. And
Yeah.
it's like, the suffering, the pain that we've experienced and how we reclaim our power on this. And then for me, and I'm sure you would agree, it's when we can take that energy and shift it into sharing with others in aligned ways that I feel we do kind of turn that into purpose. Would you agree?
I would agree 100%. That
Yeah.
was another element of your work and your teaching that really landed for me. So for sure.
Yeah. And are you open to sharing any part of your story that you're now guiding with others? Like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, for
how is
sure.
that now? Maybe you would have seen it as pain and suffering, and now it's supporting the healing of those around you.
Sure. So I guess for me, I've always been super content, just like offering this healing work, doing other things at the farm. And then in the last couple of years, I realized I wanted to be a mom. So then it took me a while to figure out what that would look like. I wanted to really sit with my body and my intuition and to see if this was something in my heart. And it just kept, it was like this spark that kept growing. So I did start to explore options and I ended up going to a fertility clinic here in Edmonton. And over the course of the last year, I met Caroline, who's a psychology colleague I work with now. And I just felt this drive to, I'm still on a fertility journey. I'm hoping to explore IVF this summer. But through the
Okay.
last year, I realized just from my mindfulness background, being with the horses, learning to feel safe in my body, because that was a pain point earlier in life, and how to find joy in grief. But then through last year, I realized I want to be able to speak more to women who are going through this path and don't have the tools I have. And I want to learn from them as well. And I want to create spaces where they can feel seen and we can just like learn from each other. It isn't about a hierarchy. And it's about really like the heart of what the Joy Facilitator program showed me, which is, yeah, like how can we learn from each other? How can I be a leader where I'm not better than, I'm not hiding aspects of my story. I'm taking my story and it's giving me passion to keep going. And so I love the women I work with. I love being in those spaces. I'm learning how to share more of my own story in those spaces. And it's really inspired me to, like, I think this is going to be my life's calling even after I become a mom, just to continue to support women who feel really isolated and hopeless through their journey and just not, there's not enough out there. So I feel really like this was guided. I was guided towards this. And then because I was open to letting that vulnerability and that ache of being a mom, I don't know, bring more joy to my life. I think that's why I'm on this path now. So,
Wow. I'm
yeah.
just, you're an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah, that made me emotional. Like I'm so like sister to sister, like proud of you. I'm inspired by you. I feel like this is how we light up the world together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. It gives me, I love getting up in the morning and thinking about how I can support myself and also support other women with the same strategies. And yeah, I think it's just more and more expansion of joy and of just, yeah, of a drive, right? And of
Yeah.
like finding those moments of joy. Like joy doesn't have to be all or nothing. How can we find those moments and then, or return to it, joy state when we're really pulled away from it every now and then.
Yes. Okay. I love this so much. Thank you for sharing because I didn't plan to like for us to necessarily
No,
go
you're
there, but
totally welcome.
I feel like,
I'm really happy to share with you. I'm comfortable sharing and I'm glad you asked.
yeah. And I also feel there's people listening who need your medicine. So who would you say you're calling in to work with? Is there someone in a particular stage of their fertility journey? And let's like really speak to them and then let them know how to find you.
I'd love that. So at this point, I'm really calling in women who are receiving medical fertility treatments, either IUI, so intrauterine insemination, or IVF, in vitro fertilization. These are women who are curious about how they can feel emotionally and spiritually supported. There's a lot of information coming at you all the time from a medical lens. And my work is really to help women feel safe in their bodies, feel connected, to feel pleasure and joy again, and not just focus on fertility all the time. So to reclaim who they are and just live their best lives, regardless of what's happening on the fertility journey. I still offer teaching and support like self compassion, meditation, somatic practices that you can use on your fertility journey. But it's also a way for us to share stories and laugh and cry and connect to your joy and know that your joy is there no matter what happens in the future. And I think that's really important. So those are the women I'm calling in. And of course, we do offer some events at the farm for families. So if women have partners or allies, like friends who are struggling, there's opportunities at the farm for them to come to retreats as well.
Oh, I love that. And you need to go if you can make it to the farm. It's the most magical place in the world.
Thank you.
And so, okay, they'll find you on Instagram and your website as well?
Yes, yes. So currently I'm at mindfulmarewellness.com as my website. And then Instagram will be Shreyasi underscore Brodhecker. That's how you can find me. Yeah, and I'm offering programs through the year. I'd love to connect with anyone who's feeling called.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, you heard it here first. You know where to find her if Tracy is speaking to you into your heart. And if you are interested in whatever way in becoming a Joy Facilitator, if this is calling to your heart, feel free to check out the Academy at joyfulliving.com. And you can also reach out to me directly at Jillian Shecker, pretty much everywhere online. There is an application process as it is a very intimate program and alignment is queen for us. So definitely reaching out, apply if you feel called, and then we can talk possibilities from there. And in the meantime, Tracy, just thanks so much for being here. I'm just
Thank you,
so proud.
Jillian.
I say
Appreciate
prinspired.
you.
It's like proud and inspired at the same time. And yeah, just really, really grateful for you and all of the beautiful light that you bring to the world.
Thank you, Jillian. It's a pleasure. Thanks.